When people hear the phrase ADHD meltdowns, they often picture something sudden, explosive, and out of control. But for many ADHDers, and many neurodivergent nervous systems more broadly, what gets labelled as a meltdown is actually the end of a very long process. A nervous system that's been holding too much for too long without enough support. Today we're going to talk about ADHD meltdowns, the symptoms that often show up before them, and how to build helpful systems that can reduce emotional overwhelm before it reaches that point. ADHD meltdowns rarely come out of nowhere. They're usually preceded by symptoms that build gradually, including rising irritability or emotional intensity, feeling mentally noisy, scattered, or overloaded, increased sensitivity to sound, light, or interruption, difficulty shifting tasks or tolerating demands, an urge to escape, withdraw, or shut everything down, feeling on edge without a clear reason. By the time a meltdown happens, the nervous system has often been compensating for a while. So instead of asking, how do I stop ADHD meltdowns? A more useful question is, what does my nervous system need before it gets to the point of a meltdown? A lot of advice around ADHD meltdowns focuses on control, calm down, push through, try harder to regulate. But control asks the nervous system to override itself. Regulation, on the other hand, is different. Regulation is about supporting capacity, not forcing compliance. For ADHD and other neurodivergent nervous systems, regulation isn't something that happens only in the moment. It's something that's built through systems. Neurodivergent-friendly regulation systems tend to work in 3 layers. Layer 1, reducing baseline load. This layer focuses on how much the nervous system is carrying by default. For ADHD nervous systems, this might look like simplifying decisions by using a decision-making framework, reducing unnecessary transitions or task switching by batching similar tasks to reduce cognitive load, intentionally scheduling recovery time and relaxation, not just work. This isn't about doing less because you can't cope. It's about recognizing that ADHD capacity is finite. When baseline load is lower, the nervous system has more room to respond, not react. Layer 2, early ADHD meltdown signals and microregulation. As I mentioned before, ADHD meltdown symptoms usually appear before overwhelm peaks. This often looks like irritability or emotional edge, mental noise or racing thoughts, physical restlessness or agitation, heightened sensory sensitivity, and reduced tolerance for interruption. So regulation systems will work best when they respond here, not at the point of meltdown. Examples of microregulation include brief movement like walking, stretching, or changing posture, grounding sensory input such as pressure, warmth, or steady background sound, pausing tasks that demand high self-control or sustained attention, naming the experience like this is overload, rather than analyzing or judging it. These small supports early on can prevent much bigger crashes later. Layer 3, recovery without shame. Sometimes ADHD meltdowns still happen. That doesn't mean the nervous system failed. Recovery is part of regulation. Neurodivergent-friendly recovery doesn't push emotional processing, doesn't demand insight or productivity, and doesn't require explanations before rest. It prioritizes safety, space, and gradual restoration of capacity. The goal isn't to eliminate intense emotional states, it's to reduce how much they cost over time. When we frame ADHD meltdowns as the problem, we miss the conditions that created them. When we focus on regulation systems instead, the narrative shifts. It shifts from, why can't I handle this, to, what would make this easier for my nervous system? That shift builds agency without blame. ADHD meltdowns aren't a personal failure. They're often a sign that the nervous system has been carrying too much for too long, without enough support around it. Neurodivergent-friendly regulation isn't about stopping reactions. It's about building systems that make regulation more accessible. If this video helped you recognize ADHD meltdown symptoms earlier, hitting the like button helps this reach others who are searching for answers. And subscribing to this channel means more tools like this land in your feed. And if planning the year ahead feels overwhelming, especially after burnout or chronic emotional load, I've created a free online workshop on planning in a way that works with capacity, values, and real life. You'll find the link in the description. Take what's useful and leave the rest. Thanks for watching.